So today I want to talk about how to get a disengaged team engaged again. And that's kind of a struggle that a lot of us face, right? We have this team that works for us, or a team that's inside of our company, or the whole company. And we want them to give us everything they got. And sometimes they're not giving us everything they got. They're not even giving us half of what they got. Maybe they're giving you 10% of what they got. When 4 or 5 o'clock comes around, you just see nobody in the office. As soon as the whistle blows, they're just gone. Right? And you're thinking, man, why do they just not care? Why are they not engaged? Why do they not care about what they do? And that's what you start going through. But there's something that you need to understand about people. People want to do a good job. See, 90% of everyone that you'll hire wants to do a good job. They want to have a purpose. They want to feel like they have a purpose. They want to feel like they're doing a good job. And we just tend not to provide the environment in which they feel that way. So if they're not feeling like they're doing a good job, and they're not feeling like they have purpose, then, why would they dedicate themselves to it? So when you're looking at a team of disengaged people, one of the things that you want to ask yourself, and it is something I ask myself, is, do they trust me? See, that's the first step. Does that team trust me? Because if they don't trust you, from here on out, for the rest of the tips I'm going to give you and things that I've used, none of them are going to work. Not one of them. Because, see, everything is based on trust. See, if I try to tell you something or give you something and you don't trust me, why in the world would you want that? Right? So your people have to trust you. If they don't trust you, they're not going to buy into anything that you want to do. So the first thing is establishing that trust. And then the next thing you want to ask yourself is do they know what a good job looks like? What is a good job for whatever job that they're doing? What does it actually look like? I'll tell you what, let's do you one better. Instead of you telling them what a good job is, how about you find out what they think a good job is? Because, see, that's really critical. Understand. Point number one is understand what they think a good job looks like. And you might find out that from person to person, that varies. And from those persons to you, that also varies. If you want to, just do a test. Hand out a little piece of paper to each one of your team members and have them fill it out separately, and then just give it to you. What does a good job look like? And just have them describe what they think a good job looks like. And you'll be surprised by their responses. And this is one of those exercises that we'll do with certain clients, is we'll go in and we'll separate a group of, inside of a team, we'll separate them, and then we'll start talking and say, okay, well, what does a good job look like? And then we'll put it up on the board, and a lot of people are just surprised at the difference in opinion of what a good job looks like, especially when you separate them out into groups. You'll get very different answers that will surprise you. And once you understand that, you can start communicating and getting their feedback and understanding what they know, and put out a map of what a good job looks like that everybody believes in. See, now everybody knows what a good job looks like, and they all participated in forming what a good job looks like, and so now they're engaged in what a good job looks like. It's a small thing. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it can make a very big difference. And another thing that I've seen in organizations, and I was part of one where, oh, by God, don't ask why. See, just do as you're told. I told you to do this, do it this way, do it now. And they had this culture, this authoritarian / coercive type culture. And then I was promoted and got into the management, and the first team meeting I did when I got them all together is I just talked about why we did things the way that we did. What was the reason behind the things that we did? And also expressed that I really wanted them to understand why. And the reason that I wanted them to understand why, and I clearly communicated this to them, was in their understanding of why, it would give us very constructive feedback to change things for the better. And that really changed the way the department worked. I mean, this department had a lot of backlog, went down to no backlog. These people understood the reasons why. They understood why they did what they did. And they understood why they did it in that particular way. And they kept on improving that particular way. They said, well, if this is why we're doing it, we could do this and still get what we're looking for. And then it would be faster for us to be able to do it and still provide the services that we needed to provide. And they just started asking why. And then with the why came the improvements. And with the improvements came the efficiency. And, and let me tell you, you can build it up and you can destroy that. And I'll tell you how I know that you can destroy it is that after I left the company a couple of years later, one of them called me, one of my former employees, and said, boy, we missed you. Because they had a big project and they were doing something with the project, and that person, who worked under me asked, why, what's the purpose, and boy, he got beat in the head with a stick. So I wish the culture would have spread out a little bit more. Unfortunately, it didn't. But when the culture was there, those employees were engaged. P.S. That person decided to no longer work with that company anymore. And the other thing is, another point is encourage them to go rogue. Right? So we have all these processes and procedures, and a lot of people who know me, I'm a process and procedures guy. But encourage them to go rogue. I know it sounds scary, but encourage that. Don't have them settle for the mold. Don't put them in such a tight channel where they can't think or expand. Encourage them to think or expand and go rogue. What else could we do? Throw everything out the window. What should we do? How best could we attack this? And encourage that type of thought. Encourage them to think like that and go rogue. And you'll be surprised with the ideas that will come that will help you. And you can do this by establishing sessions where you just grab and just throw all the rules out the window and start talking about something that you want to accomplish, and then just encourage them to go rogue. What could we do? Forget this. What if we could get whatever we wanted? What would we do? How would we get there? Just encourage that rogue thought process, and then funnel those ideas into something productive that helps your efficiency. And again, this engages them, right? So they're now feeling like they have ownership of that work. They start feeling a passion about what they're doing because they're expressing themselves. They're pursuing their ideas. They're pursuing their dreams. And that gets them back engaged. Now, another way to look at it and another way to view it is just go, everything's broken. How do we fix it? Let's assume all this doesn't work. How would we make it work? What could we do to make it work? So to just kind of to recap, the first thing that you want to do is ensure that you've gained the trust of your people. Okay, so that's the fundamental step before you go on down and start applying some of these things. So first, make sure that you have the trust of your people, that they trust you, that they know that you stand behind them, that you believe in them, and that you want the best for them. If they don't believe those three things, you're done. So make sure that they understand that those three things are real, are true, and that you truly feel them. And after that, you want to ask them or separate them into groups and find out, what do they think a good job is? Each individually, what do they think a good job is? Let's try to find the commonalities. And then grab those commonalities and run with them. Okay? And then look at the gaps and see what you need to do with those gaps. See if those gaps can become commonalities in the future. All right? So you separate them in groups. You find out what they think a good job is. You promote them to question. Understand why we do what we do. Understand why we do it the way that we do it. Promote why. Promote them asking questions to understand their jobs, because this is going to help them grow tremendously. And then it's going to make number one even better than it was before. And then number three is just promote a go rogue mentality. I mean, have a meeting and just purposely go rogue. If we threw out all the rules, what could we do?
And
So
that
those will help you on your way of getting a disengaged, disenfranchised team over to the other side, to where you have an engaged, active, passionate team. I promise you, if you follow these things, you'll start seeing the shift.